Welcome to 5-color aggro something versus Moneyball Black. This time it's not me who plays Moneyball Black, it's Thomas, and Jacob is on his 5-color nonsense here. You'll see Thomas being quite shocked here playing an in the blind therapy. He might have sat next to Jacob, so he might have seen what's going on, or at least some of it, but seeing Flutter Strand, Vindicate, and Circular Logic, Wild Mongrel, and some lands, this is some weird stuff. So I asked Jacob, hey, can we take a look at your deck? And here it is in all of its glory. It's like white weenie meets some uh, dogs, maybe wild dogs, and there's a tutor package. And yeah, this deck is something. So if you want to take a swing with it, I would recommend it. You can see in this game how it goes, but this is the deck. Thomas didn't hit anything from that therapy in the blind, and now it's up to Jacob to play a land. He plays a Flooded Strand. So you can see here with the planes, as you can see in the deck picture, it's primarily white and has some synergies with discarding stuff. And he has a discard outlet and a, well, some value in a cheap counter spell here, but his hand is ripped apart here. Rat into Flashback Therapy is a nice turn 2 sequence, which you are often are signaling that you want to do that with playing Therapy in the blind on turn 1, but in game 2 or maybe game 3, it's often quite powerful to do, and of course takes the only creature that's there with the Wild Mongrel. And now what does Jacob do? Now he has 2 lands, playing out a 1/1, which you can discard cards into. Thomas playing a land. You should have something on turn 3 here. Those lands are beautiful. Every deck he makes sort of looks great. Same with Jacob here. They like to have some specific versions, specific languages as well in their decks. That's their thing. Thomas is thinking a lot about this here, might have several plays that he can make. But what will you do, Thomas? Whatever you play is probably getting countered here. Shade. So checking if there is a counter from Circular Logic, which is online. Or does Jacob wait and just sort it? No counter. And Jacob's turn, draws, plays a land. Okay. Does he vindicate it? Swords to Plowshares. And hits for 1. And then a lion. Okay. Now we're talking. 2 damage from a 1-drop is nice. Usually we see Jackal Pop in this format, but lions can do the trick as well, although white is not as good of an aggro color in this format. Edict effects is forced to discard or to sacrifice one of these cards, or he could counter it. He could counter it, but is that worth it, really? You could counter and then have Vindicate for whatever Thomas plays. He has only 2 cards in hand. But is this the time to take that aggressive route, or do you just let go of your line, maybe? And I'm not sure how much Jacob has played this deck up at this point, or up to this point. But it does look like he's thinking through what is it worth. And there goes the discard outlets. Swings, and now holds up mana for circular. Nope, doesn't hold up. Still, okay, I stand corrected. He holds up mana for circular logic, which got cheaper from that 1/1 there. Wretch. Okay. So he can slowly eat away at the graveyard, making this circular logic not worth anything, so might as well counter it. Discards it and counters. Yeah, it's gone. And now what, Thomas? What else do you have in hand there? Not something you want to show just yet. Okay. Attacks for 3 damage. Down to 16. Down to 16. Versus 19. So this game can go on for quite a while. We did see Wild Mongrel, and we have seen the deck, of course. So we know that there are some threats that can do this faster. Scroll, nice. Nice scroll here. Representing a kill on the lion, and maybe Jacob just has to go for that Vindicate. Nope, doesn't. On lion, maybe. Dark Ritual. Okay, land is gone. Call of the Herd. Call of the Herd, man. Yeah, versus Cursed Scroll. Call of the Herd is superior. And an elephant token. If you're wondering, I believe this is done by Jesper from yeah, you've seen him in some videos before. You will see him later in this small tournament that we had later on in the series. He does some amazing tokens and some fun autos, and I'm not sure that he sells them, but you could hit him up if you want to get some tokens. Just drop a comment down below, and I'm sure that he will see it and get in touch with you. I think they look amazing. Scroll on the 1/1. Rat just chomps the 3/3 elephant here. Discarding a Mox Diamond. Mox Diamond is dead at this point, so there's that. And second main, Vindicate the Scroll, and that is looking rough for Thomas here. 2 lands, 2 creatures versus 5 lands, and a Dark Ritual in hand. What could turn this around? Some removal, maybe. Swings for 4, down to 10 now. Draw for turn. Duress. So what's in your hand? Yikes, it's a 4/4. It's a 4/4, which he cannot cast just yet. No green mana, but does have the sack or the discard outlet. Swings for 4. It's 5 mana. Oh, tap 4, sorry. Snuff out on the elephant. And now here comes the 4/4. Yeah, this is getting out of hand here for Thomas. Too much value in Jacob's plays. Swings for 4. Lethal on board. And a lion. So not even an edict does it. Okay, 2 Dark Rituals in hand doesn't do anything. This was amazing to watch. I like Jacob's way of creating decks. Just going for value and cheap stuff. If you are playing MTGO or Magic the Gathering online and are using a rental service, or if you want to do that, I have a link in the description for a referral and a coupon code which makes you get 30% off on your next subscription. So consider that, and onto the video. Sideboard games now. What deck do you think is best or is favored from this matchup here? We see kind of two mid-range decks, of which one of them is a little bit more on the aggro side, I would say, with the creature choice. Moneyball has some good bears, but Jacob has Called the Herd and has Arrogant Worm as well. And here, Duress, you shouldn't take the deep analysis here. You want your opponent to have it in hand until turn 4, and that's not even gonna cut it here with those lands. So that's a spell that's gonna be in Jacob's hand for a long while here. And getting him to be able to flash back for 2 mana and just some life is just stupid to do. So taking the sword, I guess, is correct. Sword and Bolt does the same in this matchup, although sword gives you life, so maybe you should have taken the bolt, I guess. But bolt is more difficult to cast. Yeah, another sword to the bin. And you shouldn't attack with your factor into that lightning bolt. Cabal Pit is getting a read, I guess. It's a land that can tap for black, and you take 1 damage. And if you have Threshold, you can pay a black mana and sacrifice it to give -2/-2, I believe. Just sort of the long lost brother of Barbarian Ring, which you see quite more often in the Sly deck in this format. But Cabal Pit still exists. Playing a lair land. Now he has red mana that doesn't cost any life points. Okay, Thomas doesn't want to do anything here. Just back and forth, land drop, go. Maybe a hand full of the best removal, which black often has. They don't have swords, but they do have some stuff here. Okay, tapping 4 mana to deep analysis. Fair enough. Draw 2. Back to Thomas. I think we saw a Dystopia there. Dystopia is good in this matchup. Mainly white. Secondary colors, maybe blue and green, so quite good. Playing a wretch when you do have the mana to actually activate it is something that you are to do. You should get rid of that deep analysis right away before Jacob gets a chance to flash back. Yep, does so. Thomas is good. These two guys are some good players. Have seen both of them playing on this profile or on this channel before. Gemstone. 5 mana, not where you want to be with this cheap or low curve, I should say. But those gemstone mines doesn't work forever. Tap 2. And a mongrel. Okay. And back to Moneyball here. Probably a smother. You can't do snuff out here. Yeah, smother it is. Smother. He activates its ability to discard Arrogant Worm. Snuffhout can take care of that worm, though. It takes 1. Dark Ritual. Dystopia. Dystopia can also take care of the worm here. Dystopia cannot do a lot about the mongrel, but the mongrel can change colors, does acquire a discard every turn, but this looks great here for Thomas. Yeah, and dice on your library to remember to actually do stuff about that dystopia, put a counter on it, pay some life maybe. But you don't need to if it's vindicated. Another land here. It's having a bunch of stuff. 3 mana. No. Chooses not to. Okay, putting the counters back on. Bolt. I don't know if you would activate here. I think it's too much to really care about in regards to circular logic, maybe. Keeping up 2 mana, but you don't have a lot to do with those mana. Although you could kill the factory. Okay. Okay, Hypnotic Spectre. Pass turn. I think I would have baited a removal spell with the factory before playing this hippie. Because 2 in the air and the discards are powerful. And it's removed right away. Exiled with Sword to Plowshares. So Thomas up to 21 here. Jacob at 16. And this match is a long one. A lot of back and forth here. But I guess that is what you get with mid-range decks. Thomas arranging his graveyard. He can also see that this game could go for long. Gemstone Mine out. Call of the Herd Elephant. Call of the Herd. Okay. Strong. One of the better cards to have. Dystopia is also one of the better cards. I wonder if Thomas has Plague Bearer. I think that's the difference in our lists this day. We both played Moneyball Black, and I played Plague Bearer. He didn't. He played more knights or pump creatures, shades and knights, as far as I remember. Three mana, 4 mana. A Muse. Okay, Graveborn Muse. That's a must kill. Kill on site or counter even. You don't want Thomas to draw any more cards, and you have given him life with your Swords to Plowshares, so even more resources to spare. It's countered. Factory, swing. Did take 1 life point from that Cabal Pit. So Cabal Pit is not free at all. You often take a few hits, depending on how early in the game you draw into it, but it can win you games. Like Quicksand, but it taps for mana. It can win you games. Okay, ships the turn here. Thomas just eating away his life total with that dystopian play, but he could race with 2 factories. Jacob at 13 already. Animates 1, swings. And down to 11. 2 mana for a wretch. Removing Call of the Herd before he can put down another elephant. What could be in Jacob's hand here? He looks at only 2 cards, takes up the third one there, but Probably not a lot of action. Maybe a dead Mox diamond. No, a seal. Seal for factory, maybe? Yeah, he can stop factory attacks for one turn and then use it on the dystopia. Bauble. Nice. Okay, that's one of the cards I didn't play either. So Bauble is a way for you to kind of cheat with deck construction. You play one less card in your deck, basically. You get to see a random card in your opponent's hand and then draw the next upkeep. So it's a delayed draw, but certainly not bad. Swings for 6 here. So what do you do, Jacob? You're in a pinch. You probably seal one of the factories at least. Yep. And then do you take 4? Okay, fair enough. Down to 7. Dead on board here. You have to do something. But that mana base is also quite painful. 2 City of Brass. Yikes. Has his only white source, and red and black, of course, but white is one of his primary colors. No, not dead on board, sorry. 2 turn clock. 2 mana. Okay, fair enough. Oh no, no, wait, I got that wrong. That's a layer land in the back there. It looks like wasteland, but it's a layer land, so it does have red mana and black and green. Okay, no cards to discard, so use the Cabal Pit here. And Thomas, okay, he chooses to let it go. Draw. Now it's a waiting game. So top deck mode here, they're just staring down each other, these creatures. Thomas's outs are plenty. Just some removal or another factory would do it. Oh, yeah, okay, we see Snuff out. Snuff out. Then a rat here. Okay, making sure the coast is clear. That's a okay. That's a coast. Didn't know that, but sure the coast was clear. It swings with factory down to 3. Jacob dead on board, and that is it for this second game. So we will have a game 3 here. 1-1 between these nice guys. Game 3. Game 2 was quite close. Classic mid-range battle. But we see a mulligan to 6 from Jacob. Maybe, yeah, you need to mulligan and mulligan until you have a playable hand. That is an error that I see a lot of, or misplay I see a lot of players do. They see some cards in hand that are nice, maybe a sideboard card or 2, and then they have nothing. Here he has pressure with a 2-1, and he has removal if he needs to. Takes care of his own guy as well, but a Classum hits everything except factories and Grave Bomb use in this Moneyball Black deck, so a nice sideboard card, but takes out a lot of creatures in his own deck. He needs to discard to not kill his 1/1s. He needs to... yeah, he kills his own lions and meddling mages. Meddling mages are probably not in here. They are probably in the sideboard right now. Factory. Therapy. Maybe killing off the worm? No, he Does not do that, in fact. It doesn't do it. A Leyland. Mox, discarding the painful City of Brass, and ships the turn. No, Thomas can't play a rat here. That would be a horrendous play. But he plays a factory. He can do that. Dark Ritual into a Hypnotic. Okay, this is also dangerous because if you attack and you hit the worm, things are not looking good here. And Jacob has the Mana Void. It's just a madness cost of 3 here. So, Jacob, what are you going to do? You can't just kill the Spectre. Yeah, you have to develop and hope that he hits your worm. Yep. Does so, but Thomas wouldn't attack into this situation unless he has removal for it. Smother doesn't work here, but Snuff Out does. Also, an Edict effect doesn't quite do it. So what do you do here? Swing with Factory? A single Factory could be a nice attack. Okay, he does it. He gambles. I like that. I like that approach. And he is rewarded here. Vindicate is gone. That's what Jacob was considering, trying to vindicate the Spectre. Yeah, you also take 2 damage. Okay. Nice. Nice hit there, Thomas. Maybe a little lucky, but it's a 50-50. Not everyone would take that 50-50. Back to Thomas here, signaling that the card in hand from Jacob is not a land. It's not a one, or it could be Swords to Plowshares or Lightning Bolt. It isn't. And could it be a Wild Mongrel? Could it? No, it's a Disenchant. Yeah, no targets for Disenchant as well. So it just sits there and takes it. 2 50-50s in a row. And now Jacob is fed up with this. He knows that he will just hit the smother again. So might as well just play it and send the turn. Wasteland on the layer land. Okay. So you should swing here, Thomas, but Dystopia. Okay, fair enough. Okay, you shouldn't swing. So Lion is out. And has 3 factories, so can swing for. If he has another land drop, he can swing for 6, or else it's 5. Oh my god. Okay, fair enough. He can swing for 6. Yeah, and does actually tap the one that just came into play here. Swings for 6. Jacob down to 10 here. Playing a land, and we know of the worm. But there's also a meddling mage. That's also a mage here. So what would you call in this situation? I don't think there's a lot to do here with 4 factories. Swamp. So you swing with for 6 damage and keep 1 factory back here to pump whatever. No, okay. Okay. I would have probably done it differently. But the meddling mage is gone. And now Thomas can swing for lethal. Maybe Jacob has some removal. He does play with bowls and swords to plowshares and disenchants. Swings for 6. There's a sword coming. Okay, Thomas gains 2. Jacob down to 2. Sends the turn. Draws. Thinks about it. Is there an out here? You are dead if you... Yeah, okay. He can play a 4/4. Thomas can just go wide. And that is game. Moneyball Black takes it down against this crazy 5 color something pile. Good games.